Welcome back to Light the Fuse podcast, the only Mission Impossible podcast that is actively warring with another Mission Impossible podcast.
That's true.
Say.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Drew Taylor, joined by Charles Hood again.
Hello. Yes. Minute Impossible.
Minute Impossible. We're doing a crossover episode though soon.
Yes. So. We got to get them on our show too.
We're gonna air this as beef.
We're gonna go.
I think
we're gonna go on their show soon. They do one movie a year. So they dive into each movie minute by minute. This year they're doing MI2, and we're going to be, I think, talking for the climax of MI2. We're going to be on those episodes. I think we might be on multiple episodes. So it's going to be fun to talk about. I think we requested. We asked if we could get the knife. Yes,
that's right.
We were like, can we get the knife in the eye? Can we get some of that climax beach fight stuff? So I'm hoping we're going to be on those minutes. But we'll find out soon, and you'll find out soon when we get on their podcast.
Yeah, we'll share that on all our social channels.
Yeah. I also want to thank Kevin Blumenfeld for our legally dissimilar music theme.
Yeah.
Kevin is an awesome composer, and I'm hoping I'm going to get him on this project I'm about to do right now, actually.
So good. Throw him some work.
Hopefully I didn't jinx that.
Right.
But Kevin also has an Instagram, and he's got a website. I believe it's just kevinblumenfeld.com, and his Instagram is just at Kevin Blumenfeld Composer.
Is that his
and I think
Twitter
too? I don't think that's his Twitter, but on Instagram, I think his Twitter is just at Kevin Blumenfeld. But on Instagram, if you're interested in film music, he posts stuff from his studio. He does cool little things. He's also like a big Ghostbusters Batman fan. He's a big film nerd. He's awesome. One of our very good friends. I love him so much. So yeah, if you like film music, he's a good person to follow and check out his website and everything.
Today's episode, we're talking to Mikey again.
Yeah, part 2 of Mikey.
We're getting his rankings. We're going a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he was a joy to talk to, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Do we have anything else to do before?
Make sure you check out Mikey's and Patrick's videos if you haven't already. Yes. The story of Mission Impossible. And his channel is FilmJoy. It's youtube.com/FilmJoy.
And his Twitter is Mikey Face, MIKEY Face. And stick around because we'll have some more stuff after the interview with Mikey.
You know what would be cool to bring back? Sorry, I'm just wildly moving between topics. Red light, green light. I want to see that come back.
Yeah?
Well, Tom Cruise at the end when he's like, red light, green light. Like, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. And he just rides the shockwave of an explosion back onto a bullet train.
Yes.
Now he would do that for real.
Heart out, Wolverine.
That it's amazing how much I think that effect still holds up. I mean, from what we've heard,
it looks better than the Wolverine.
Yeah,
which came out 12 years later.
Well, we haven't gotten him on yet, but Todd Vaziri, who works at ILM and he worked on MI3 and Ghost Protocol, he's going to come on. But he talked a bit about that with us on Twitter. We were just having a conversation where he was saying they looked so good in the climax in the first movie, the ILM work, because they put in the time. They shot that sequence on top of the train for I think it was weeks, 6 weeks or something, just to make it look right. And they used huge jet engine turbines to make the wind look right. And I mean, they put in the effort. You put in the effort, you're going to make it look good.
Yeah.
The 90s were good for that. When people went for it in the 90s in films, those seem to hold up.
Yes. There are some exceptions.
There's some bad ones too.
There's all kinds of bad movies in the 90s. Don't get me wrong.
There's like a kind of shark creature in Waterworld that is arguably the worst VFX.
I know, and it was the most expensive movie ever shot at that point.
Yeah, and they couldn't get the shark creature to work.
What kills me is they didn't seem to know that building all those sets in the water and then inevitably them getting destroyed all the time would be expensive to just keep rebuilding.
Well, you know where it's still being built, about a 5-minute walk from where we record this podcast at Universal Studios Hollywood. The Waterworld stunt show is going strong all these years later. They blow up a airplane 3 times a day or whatever, and people love it. So
that's nuts.
Yeah,
that's like saying when you're like, "What's your favorite video game?" and then you say, "Waterworld on Virtual Boy." It's like just no one would say that.
Speaking of stunt shows, you might not have heard this, but we did our making of MI3 episodes just a little bit ago, and after that movie came out, they were working to do a stunt show of Mission Impossible at Six Flags. Mm-hmm. And they were going to do this whole thing for it. We need that. We need that Mission Impossible
Yeah,
stunt show.
we're going to South Korea in 2022 anyway.
Right now, have you heard about that? The news that Paramount's doing their own amusement park and it's opening in South Korea, and they're planning to do. It sounded like Mission Impossible rides, plural.
I think it's going to be a stunt show and a ride. I mean, we're going to get into this with Carly, but yeah, I think there's going to be
Carly
Wiesel, who's a travel and leisure reporter. She's going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about.
Does she have the inside scoop?
She doesn't have the inside scoop, but I think she's got some good ideas. She's thought about merchandise. She's thought about food items. Everything.
Oh, we're gonna build a Mission Impossible park with Carly.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
yes,
it's gonna be like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah.
What sequence would you like to see from any Mission Impossible film turned into a ride?
Well, it's hard because so much of the movie's stunts are like from a one person's POV. So it would be hard to do like a Star Tours type situation.
Right.
You could do a...
and there aren't a lot of times where Ethan's like... You pointed this out when we were doing our big breakdown of MI3 very early on. The scene on the bridge in MI3 is one of the only times you really see Ethan interacting with civilians.
Yes.
Being like, hey, get out of here, get out of the way, like, hey, like trying to help people. Because that's just not really something that happens in the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
Because you could do a thing where he's like... got a car full of people that he's trying to help.
That's true.
You know, like Ethan Hunt driving a school bus across a burning bridge. That's the stunt, the Star Tours like show.
Yeah.
If I had infinite money, I would do the CIA sequence from the first movie as an escape room.
Oh, I love that. It could also be a drop ride.
Oh yeah,
drop you in and you have to figure out how to get out.
Yeah, one of those like kind of Tower of Terror type things where it kind of drops you down. Yeah.
We've talked about that before as like an art exhibit.
Yeah,
like because they had in LA they had the 2001. They might have done it elsewhere too, but they recreated the room from the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and you could go and stand in that. We were saying someone should do that with the room in Langley, and then as part of the visiting the exhibit, they tie you up and hang you from the ceiling. You get to dangle there for a minute.
Yeah, there's got to be a photo op component to it. But you could turn the Paris chase into a simulator, or the Morocco chase and Rogue Nation.
Well, because the Fallout chase, I think they said, was based on that French short film called Rendezvous, I think it was called, and it's first person driving through. Yeah, and that was their inspiration, that you could do a ride just like that.
But it could be like a thing where you're like an IMF recruit and you get in the car and Tom Cruise is driving and then some madness happens. And I got to do the real version of that because I got to do a stunt day with the stunt team and I got to go in the BMWs.
Yes, for all of you out there, you can check out. Yeah. That was an episode we did.
Yeah, we did that one for
around the time of release of Fallout.
Yeah,
it's an interview with Wade Eastwood. And you talk about driving the cars around. Wade drove you around. Right?
Yeah, he drove me around a track, which was pretty great and insane. And he says that Tom Cruise is just as good a driver as him.
Wow.
But I think it's time. I think it's time to lay down the big.
Already?
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
What do you think?
If we can do it, go ahead.
All right. You ready for this, Mikey?
Yeah.
What is your official Mission Impossible rankings, and we can discuss each one as we go.
Okay. Starting from 6 to and end with your favorite.
Least great to greatest, as we like.
We don't want to say like worst to best. It's least best to best.
I want to clarify that my least best is still like an 82 on the test.
Okay,
like it's still a B.
Yes.
But my least favorite Mission Impossible movie is, in fact, Mission Impossible 2. I still love it. It's just my least favorite.
Wow.
I mean, from what you've talked about, and you're a big fan of John Woo, we figured you would have that higher.
The stuff with Naya put it pretty low. And also the voice modulation and stuff.
The thing with Naya, too, is like, I wanted to bring this up before, was... There's that really awful line that Anthony Hopkins gives where he's like, she's a woman. To lie and go to bed with a man. Well, every woman knows how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the intention with that was to make a joke about women lying about if a man is good in bed, maybe?
Well,
that might have been the intention, but intention doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch Mission Impossible 2, you can see that they are trying to do like a James Bond thing
Yes.
Where there's like a Mission Impossible girl or something, which they, of course, dropped with Mission Impossible 3. Thank you.
All right.
In fifth position, Mission Impossible 1.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Okay.
We said we weren't
I
gonna
asked you if you guys were going to give me
I
shit
know,
about
no,
this,
no,
and you're like,
we're just
no, we
surprised.
won't.
We're
And
just-
immediately you are.
No, I love this. I love this. This is great. What? Tell us why.
I like watching it fifth most. These are
Okay.
all loved. You're asking me to rank my children here, so
Yes. No,
It's
that's
tough.
fair. I mean, it's a different kind of movie, and if it's not your bag, then I can get why someone might not want to put it on. For me, I love that movie so much, and I could put it on any day of the week. But I also know it is a specific kind of movie that is not really the same tone as 4, 5, 6,
No.
or even
Or even
3.
three.
Yeah.
yeah. When you see where 3 is on the list, you're gonna poop. Fourth position, and again, I just like watching this movie slightly less than the other ones. Rogue Nation, number 5.
Okay.
That's
So,
fair.
yeah. So this is your fourth position, Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
What is your
Which I think
Yeah.
is for us. We have it
Yeah.
in fourth position as well. But it's again like
It's a great film. I
love
just-
that movie so much.
Yeah, why do you think you not dislike it? Why do you think you don't watch it as much as the other ones?
The sequences aren't as rewatchable, and like tonally it starts out pretty harsh. Like 5 had me sad from the opening like sequence because I liked the girl in the record store. She was nice. Why'd you do that?
Right.
Why did you do that? She just wanted to find you a jazz record.
Yeah, and she was probably new to the job. She's probably as young as he was in the first one.
Well, we always wonder because those kind of characters were in the old show a lot.
Yes.
In the old
Yeah.
show, he'd go to a
Yeah.
record store or go to
Sure.
Movie theater.
a movie theater. He'd go wherever he'd go, a gas station, and there'd be a person there who would know to tell them where to go to get the code. Who are those people on the payroll? Are they like IMF in training, or are they kept out of the loop and they're just kind of? I mean, she was not kept out of the loop because she knew about all the stories of Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
You should start a YouTube channel because like the next place you're gonna get is Star Wars doesn't make any sense if you analyze anything all day, it's gonna eventually.
Oh no,
we-
I'm not saying that as a criticism. I love
No,
everything
I'm
about
messing
every
with
one
you.
of these
Yeah.
movies. So
Yeah,
we
me too.
love to just think about all these things.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
I want to pitch a CBS All Access workplace comedy about sort of like lower tier IMF agents doing the
That's
paperwork.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Well, and we're obsessed with the idea of all these different bosses being still there at the IMF. So it's just Ethan Hunt has to deal with all these different middle management bosses.
Yeah.
Because they all have different titles. It was Mission Commander
Yeah.
Swanbeck in the second one, and then Operations Manager Musgrave in the third one, and Director Brossel also
God,
in the third one. Like they're just
Yeah.
they all have different titles, and it's just Ethan Hunt's just got to deal with all this bureaucracy.
yeah. They never.
Yeah, which the third one is really about because he's like, you know what, I'm going rogue. Yes, again, because that's really his move.
Yeah, I mean, and they never change jobs. I mean,
Yeah, and even
Alan-
even in that one, Lawrence Fishburne as Director Brossel, he answers to someone on the phone at one point who's higher than him that I assume was the secretary.
right.
He has the best line in a Mission Impossible film to me, and like that's part of the reason I love 3 so much. But when he like snaps at Billy Crudup and he's like, "Please do not interrupt me when I'm asking rhetorical questions."
He's got a few great lines.
Yeah.
The chocolate
Oh yeah,
line.
the whole every line he has is great.
Yeah,
Um,
he's great.
all right, so that was 4.
Okay.
So were you going to say something, Drew? I cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say that you never. Alec Baldwin's the only one that's made a move from an outside agency to the IMF.
Yes.
We haven't heard about anybody, because then out here in Los Angeles, people work at Paramount for 2 years and then they go work at Warner Brothers. But there's no sort of everybody
Right.
stays at the IMF. Maybe because if they're so secret that if you leave, they have to like wipe your memory or something. But yeah.
A couple people have said, because we've asked questions that we do Mission Monday on Twitter, and we ask people, fans, questions of what they want to see, and we asked who should be the next secretary, and a couple people were like, oh, Angela Bassett should make the switch over from just like
But
Hunley did.
McCrory said
But
the
McCrory
second.
already said that no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
He's got plans for Angela Bassett.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. Gave me like chills.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your number 3 film.
Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
Great.
That one just wants you to have a good time. Like it's just goofy, great fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 2, MI3.
Okay.
Okay. I thought it was going to be first place for you, but okay. MI3 is second place.
Second place.
Not really a big surprise. We know you love it.
You love it?
You can't. I don't think it's possible to take the number 1 spot from Fallout. It's too good. That movie is just made of joy
Yes.
and testosterone and what. Like, it's just one scene that sort of ends, but not really. Just like start to finish, one thing.
What-
Like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it feels very cohesive, and it feels like what they were trying to do with Spectre, but didn't do in terms of kind of finishing off.
Right.
They succeeded where Spectre failed.
Yeah, yes. Where
Yes.
they continue a story, they expand the world, they bring a certain amount of closure. Should it be the last movie? But obviously now we know it's not. Yeah, Fallout is an amazing achievement. Anyway, yes, slice it.
Yeah.
So what do you want from the next 2? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I mean at some point, and they've been saying this since MI2, to be fair, but at some point you do kind of have to transition into a different thing that isn't Ethan Hunt just does everything, and because like I don't know. And I'm probably wrong. Tom Cruise clearly looks like a 20-year-old man at this. Like I don't know whose blood he's drinking. But it's great, and he's a good-looking boy who can do stunts.
Yeah.
Just keep going, Tommy.
I think these
You
2 are
good-looking
gonna.
boy.
Yeah, I think these 2 are gonna be the last 2 of him doing crazy stunts.
I feel like maybe he will transition from point man to just team leader kind of thing. Like I don't know how exactly it's going to work out. But even McQuarrie has said he's not going to try to top Fallout with this next one, the next 2.
Yeah.
So like it's
that
maybe
makes
going to be
sense.
some kind of pivot into maybe not quite as much action.
But then he said the thing about having to swallow the last 3 whole.
Yes, that's true. But I also wonder if swallow the last. He said swallow the last. Did you hear that quote, Mikey? Recently, he said something about how these new movies need to swallow the last 3 movies whole. And I wonder if part of that is story related. That quote, but who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, the thing is, he has ideas. Obviously, he's the main auteur on this thing. But like, on some level, Tom Cruise probably calls you like on a Wednesday, like 3:00, eating a hot dog, and he's like, "I want to jump off the Statue of Liberty without a parachute. Figured out."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just some rambunctious inanity. And then you build a movie around that, which is kind of how they've been making these. Like it's just people having fun doing a job, and it's great.
Yeah,
It just wants you to have a good time.
I imagine they're going to be shooting set pieces for the next 2 movies, and they will even shuffle them between the movies depending on how they can end up fitting within the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that becomes the marketing. Maybe another actor does the banana stunt this time.
Yeah.
Maybe Simon Pegg, I don't know,
Yeah. I didn't even think
strap
about that.
him to an airplane.
Yeah.
I mean, supposedly Cruise has been pushing the other actors to fly the jets in Top Gun too. So maybe he'll do the same thing with Mission Impossible. He'll be like, "Hey, Simon Pegg, time to start training for this big stunt."
Yeah. I mean, after these 2, to make a more recent analogy, I would love to see like the Bumblebee entry in the franchise. The smaller, more contained, more like the first one entry after these 2 crazy ones.
That's what I would love to see as well.
but-
And
Yeah, I mean, you could go back to the sort of energy of the first one, I think.
Yeah.
That very psychological, running from rupturing fish tanks, sort of.
yes,
Yes.
Play with suspense a little bit more.
I mean,
And then
Macquarie's very good at it.
Yes,
So.
obviously, yeah. And I also think maybe after that they could start maybe on the side a TV show, please.
I can't believe they haven't done one yet.
Who would you want to see lead a TV show?
Oh, goodness. Kerry Russell.
Ooh, a
So,
little
a
prequel.
prequel show?
Doesn't have to. No, it does. Gosh. For real though?
For real.
I mean,
yeah.
like no budget and the fact that this actor would say no, not counting toward who I'd want.
Yeah. This is the Disney Plus,
Yeah.
sky's the limit model. Go ahead.
Donald Glover.
Interesting.
I would love
I
to see
am
him.
nothing if not interesting.
Yeah.
We always say we want Maggie Q and Paula Patton. I'd love to see the two of them headline a show.
Yeah. There's no.
They've
sure.
got their own team. They've got a couple other members of the team, and that's their show.
I would put Jonathan Rhys Meyers on it, but
Yeah, why not?
but like bust him down to like recruit level and he's just always getting in trouble, so everyone just dunks on him all the time.
Like kind of Happy Madison version of
And we can get cameos from Billy Baird. From
yeah.
MI2.
Get Billy Baird in there. The fact that there hasn't been an Elsa TV show is like baffling to me.
I think they're
Yeah.
they wouldn't. They want to keep her from the movies.
Do the Disney Plus model where it's the same actors and you just get them for 6 episodes and that's it.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe that's where
We're not saying that.
where everything's headed. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does go there at some point. You get the Ilsa Faust TV show.
Yeah, I mean, once we're installed as sort of creative heads of the franchise, apparently.
Once that comes to, nobody's mentioned getting Lawrence Fishburne in there as well.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because the leadership of the IMF has changed so much.
Yeah,
But we think he's still there in the building somewhere.
Yeah, when we asked, because we asked McCory specifically about all the middle management bosses, and he said that it's like studio. It's like it runs like a movie studio. So there are all these different studio execs that you're dealing with, and all.
Yeah.
And that's what Ethan Hunt has to deal with. And he said that he thinks they're all in there. He wants to try to bring back Kittredge.
Yeah.
I would die. I want Kittredge so bad.
Yeah.
I want to see like the lunchroom where they're all going to eat lunch and they run into like Musgrave and they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not today. Not today, Janet.
The same lunchroom where. So is the IMF in CIA headquarters?
I don't know. I was wondering about that recently too, because in the first movie they break into CIA headquarters, and Kittredge is working out of CIA headquarters.
Yeah, and
however, in MI3 they're hidden underneath the Department of Transportation.
My understanding of the first one was the stuff was in the CIA because it was specifically the knock list, which needed the highest level of security. So I sort of just kind of like allowed that in my head. But yeah.
Interesting.
But Kittredge was working in the Langley. He was in the building when
Yeah.
that happens. So I don't know if maybe he was
field
working
office.
with some CIA people because he needed to in order to track Ethan.
Yeah. Well, that's a fascinating line of thinking. We can go down.
We just gave him the TV show. And
Yeah.
the thing is, J.J. Abrams already made this TV show.
That's true.
Right.
Because
Before
we did see the day-to-day of, what were they called in Alias?
SD6 was the bad guys.
S-
They were the what were
Right. SD6 was who they were the first season, though.
Right.
I thought
But it would be so simple to do that show. You do it, and you like have someone who works there. They go to the Department of Transportation building, and they go down some lower special elevator that takes them down to the IMF offices. Yeah. I'd love to see this.
they? Yes, SD6 was the bad guys, but that was who she was working for because she was undercover.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Charles has never seen it, so
I think I saw the pilot
the pilot
probably
fucking
in
rules.
college. So that was a long time
First
ago.
2 seasons rule. Stop there.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree.
Hard, like, of all the shows where someone tells you to stop on this, like, that is no more true than Alias. Like, it is the most true of Alias. Only watch the first 2.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Good to know.
Some interesting creatives later on. Drew Goddard wrote a bunch of episodes after Buffy
Yeah.
was over, but
We need to get Drew Goddard on this show.
we got to
Because
get another
McCory,
Drew.
McCory said that Drew Goddard was in the writer's room for Rogue Nation.
Oh, that's
Believable.
right.
That's
Because
cool.
McCory had mentioned writer's room before, and so when we interviewed him, we asked him who was in that writer's room, and he told us that Drew Goddard was part of it.
We got to get him.
Got to do it.
He's not doing anything. Yeah, right. He's very he's very in demand.
Yeah, we get it, Drew.
screenwriter.
Yeah, we
Okay.
get it. Thanks.
All right. Well,
Sorry, Mikey.
No, it's all good.
Mikey, do you have any closing thoughts? Any additional commentary?
I couldn't put one on my list higher because I like Rogue Nation more than one, and I like 4 more than one. That's why it was 5th.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I
totally
just
fine.
wanted to clarify.
No, it's totally fine.
But
There
I
are people
love
who
them.
don't like one. They just they hopped on the series when the third movie came out or when the fourth movie came out.
Yeah.
And there are people who love. I mean, Patrick's a Rogue Nation obsessive. He loves Rogue Nation.
Yeah, he says that's the platonic ideal of a Mission Impossible movie. So,
I mean, it's not an incorrect statement. It's just
Yeah.
varying levels of truth based on who you are.
that's true.
Yeah. I'm curious what De Palma movies you have or haven't seen.
Oh God.
Are there any
let
De
me-
Palma movies that you love or you don't love?
Let me pull up his IMDb real quick just to look at an
We
entire
could probably
list.
just rattle off titles for you.
Yeah.
What about Carrie? You like Carrie?
Oh, I mean, everybody likes Carrie.
Body
yeah,
Double?
What about Blowout? Blowout, I think.
Mission to Mars. That's a good one. Carlito's Way is great.
I love Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
What about Blowout? Have you seen Blowout?
No.
You need to
Seen
watch.
Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill is messed up.
Yes, you should watch Blowout. You should right
Okay.
now hang up and get the Criterion Blu-ray of Blowout.
Wait, well,
Sit
you can
down.
wait for the
How
sale.
funny would it be if I just disappeared and you're like, holy shit, he did it.
He
Oh,
did.
Actually, we're gonna keep recording. We're gonna listen to you watching Blowout.
Yeah. Watch
It
Blowout.
sounds like a evening.
I think that might be his best movie. What do you think is his best
I
movie?
think it's maybe his best movie.
Oh, no. Yeah, my favorite Brian De Palma movie is The Untouchables.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay. Another
one.
great adaptation of a
television
series. Yeah. I mean, I
That's
love
true.
Body Double a lot.
That's
It might
what,
not-
not what's your favorite, Drew. What do you think is
What's
the best?
Yeah,
Brian De
Blowout.
Palma
Blowout
movie?
is the best. But I like his funnier ones. I love
Okay.
Phantom of the Paradise and I love Body Double.
Mission would be my favorite, of course.
Yeah.
I just love it.
But yeah, watch Body Double if you want a really weird psychosexual romp. I might actually I might be walking down the aisle to the scene, the music where he watches
In Body
her-
Double?
Yeah, the kind of like dreamy Pinot.
Are you gonna walk down the aisle? She's not.
I think
Are you both gonna walk down the
I
aisle
might walk
together?
down it. No, we're walking down separately. So
Okay.
I'm looking at some.
But you're not
music
gonna just be
choices.
waiting up front. You're gonna walk down the aisle.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna walk down.
All right.
Have some
I
interest
think
music.
I might be the
didn't get
only
any-
person that doesn't like Scarface.
Scarface
Not
is
a
is an interesting movie because it's so dated.
Yeah.
But in a way that when I first saw it, I didn't like it, and now whenever I revisit it, I appreciate it more and more. I've probably seen it 3 or maybe 4 times now.
That's another funny one.
It is
I
funnier.
appreciate
than,
the acting.
Yes, and the colors. I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie.
And Giorgio's score is great.
Giorgio's score is amazing.
Yeah,
Correct.
And Michelle Pfeiffer is a revelation.
she's a revelation.
That was her first.
I just feel
Big movie,
terrible
wasn't it?
watching that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's the funny thing is that so many, people misappropriated that
Yeah.
that movie and saw Scarface as a hero. And you're like,
yeah, aspirational.
yeah. You don't want to be Scarface.
It's like when people watch Wall Street and they're like, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
All these heroes.
Right.
Yeah, we feel the same way. We're really just out there chasing the dollar.
Yep. That's all.
Holler at that
we
dollar.
do this for the money.
We do it for the money. Yeah, the money that it costs us.
That's what people are always saying about podcasting.
Yeah, yeah.
Just do it for the money.
We sold out.
You
man.
know, you're a YouTube creator. You know how the checks roll in.
Oh yeah. Just work as hard as humanly possible always
Yes.
and make some money.
Never have a single break for
No.
more than 5 minutes.
No, never. But speaking of which, Mikey, can you tell everybody where to watch your stuff, where to find you online, and all of that?
Yeah, if you'd like to check out my YouTube videos, which are very good and you'll like them a lot, go to youtube.com/FilmJoy. The idea behind it was to do movie criticism and video essays and stuff where you look at just stuff we love and why, and maybe give you a perspective that you didn't have before. I just did an episode on Into the Spider-Verse about the technology used in that movie, and people seem to really like it. And you can follow me on Twitter at MikeyFace.
Awesome.
Awesome. And we'll be sure to be posting the hell out of your video essay you did with Patrick about Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
Sure, of course.
So just about that. So Patrick set the bar so high because when we were planning it the week before, I in my outline had a thing where the story of Tom Cruise running, and the way me and Patrick sort of agreed to do that was to do a running shot. He just did it like in Manhattan. It's 32 seconds long, and it is 1 second longer than the longest running shot of Tom Cruise. He did that on the fly in New York.
He's a very spry little guy. He'll just get out there and do it.
Yeah, I was saying, like, filming that is hard.
Yeah. I'm very impressed by both of you and your commitment to doing this. We can barely get in front of a microphone once a week, so it's truly a feat. Keep up the good work and keep up the enthusiasm. I think that this podcast is fueled by enthusiasm, so we really appreciate that about your work. And thank you so much for accepting this mission.
This is great. I had a blast.
Awesome. And we're back. So that's it for Mikey. I mean, for now.
For now.
Well, I'm sure we'll have
him back again. I'm sure he'll make more videos because he's just as obsessed with this series as everybody else is.
Yeah. I feel like we've created a safe space for people to kind of come out.
Yes. You can come out and talk about their video. Look, hey, you love MI3 the best? That's fine.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about your love for MI2.
Yeah.
Tell us about your love for Mission Commander Swanbeck.
Yeah, this is a completely safe space. No judgments, nothing.
We do our best, yes.
We do our best. It is my duty to remind everyone to rate, review, like, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you really want to go the extra mile, throw us a couple bucks on Patreon. We would really appreciate it. It keeps the lights on. And we've got some new t-shirts in our TeePublic store.
Yep.
Including the Brant variant of the team lineup. And we'll have more t-shirts there soon. We're working on live things and other kind of things that you can actually experience in person.
Yeah. But sign up for that Patreon. Patreon.com/LightTheFuse.
That'll make... if you sign up for that, that'll help actually make these other things a reality.
Yes.
Because we'll have money to do them.
Yes. And if you sign up at the Mission Commander level, then you get our commentaries. We just did an MI2 commentary today, and we're going to try to do them once a month for each of the movies, and then we'll start doing other movies, I think, too, and the shows, the old show. We're going to get
try to have some
feedback.
Guests on here.
Yes, of course. We've got big guests we're working on, as always. And speaking of the Patreon, I just want to say this episode is brought to you by Jeremy Dillon. And also a special thanks to Thomas Jeffroy for helping us out with this episode.
Let me tell you, I love both of those guys.
Love them both.
They're great.
Absolutely. And it was mixed by Luke Burson. So,
also love him.
Yeah, thank you all so much for making this podcast possible. And also just one quick thing. We did
ahead.
in a previous episode, there's that editor Vashi. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm sure I'm butchering it. But we've prompted him, and he is now going to make a chart for all the Mission movies.
Oh, he did the shot length.
He did the average shot length for Brian De Palma's movies that we brought up in an earlier episode, and we saw that the first Mission Impossible movie is Brian De Palma's fastest cut movie.
Right. Well, of this selection that
which was pretty big.
It was big.
I think it was a dozen movies. But he actually very quickly sent us back a chart for the first 4 movies. He said he's still going to do Rogue Nation and Fallout. However, the first 4 movies, De Palma, average shot length is 4.3 seconds. The average shot length for John Woo's MI2, 2.5 seconds. Average shot length for J.J. Abrams' MI3, 2.6 seconds. And Ghost Protocol from Brad Bird, 3.1 seconds. So we were...
So Bird slowed it down.
But we talked about, we guessed, it was between Woo and Abrams. We thought maybe Abrams was going to be the fastest and Woo would be second fastest. We said that those two would be the fastest, and it looks like we're right. But Woo is just a tiny bit faster.
Yeah.
2.5 for John Woo and 2.6 seconds for J.J. Abrams.
I thought that Ghost Protocols might have been quicker because of what Paul Hirsch was telling us about him removing frames and stuff. But I guess that doesn't really affect the actual cutting if you can't notice it.
There was someone on Twitter who was asking about what the significance of that is, and it's just a difference in style.
Right.
So it's, certain filmmakers will have a more deliberate style with the way they shoot a scene. They'll have fewer shots, stage more of the scene in a single shot or even in one shot, an entire scene. And then there are filmmakers like Tony Scott or John Woo that do a lot of coverage. They'll shoot a lot of different angles. They'll shoot a lot of cameras at the same time, and then they cut it together really fast. Michael Bay, and I think it's a harder style to pull off where the geography feels clear.
That's true.
So it's like it's just a completely different style. And so it's
I can't wait to see what
interesting to discuss. Can't wait to see what Rogue Nation and Fallout, how they shake out in relation to these two and in relation to each other. since they were the only two by the same director.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Yes, we love this guy, Vashi Nidomansky.
Awesome.
I'm sure he's an editor, and he's a good guy to follow as well. On Instagram, he's Vashi Visuals. On Twitter, he is something else that I wish I knew off the top of my head, and I don't.
But he's a hockey fan, and so are you.
Yes, I am. It's true. LA Kings.
All right.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. On that note, what is the next episode? Do we know?
What is our next episode? Well, we've got, I think, Carly coming up. We've got Patrick coming back. I'm not sure because we're going on a little bit of a break.
Right.
We're hoping to get Mo Shafiq back from Mondo, because those Mondo vinyls they're
starting to drop.
The Fallout vinyl. Order it.
Yeah.
It's out. If you go to the Mondo website, they have a vinyl of Mission Impossible Fallout, and it's a plutonium core record.
And if you
so it's that color of the plutonium core. It's really cool.
You get a little bonus sort of floppy disc that plays on your record player. It's sort of an unreleased track from Lauren. We'll talk to Lauren about this and where the origins of this track are before we talk to Mo. But it's really cool. It's a really different. Did you like that track? It's cool.
Yeah,
right?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time this episode comes out, I'm sure all those specials will be gone.
Right. Well,
unfortunately, this will be
left.
August. But yeah, maybe it's. I'm not sure how limited the limited edition is.
I think it's just the first pressing.
Oh, it's the first pressing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you get the first pressing, you'll get this. Yeah.
Okay, so it should still hopefully be around.
I think it'll be around.
So yeah, definitely order that. We've gotten advanced copies, and they are awesome.
Yeah.
So and they're going to do all the movies. They kind of hinted at it. We'll talk to Mo about that.
And the next one I think we can talk about it's going to be Mission Impossible 2. So if you're a fan of MI2, show your love and pre-order that vinyl whenever that drops.
Is that pre-order's not out yet?
Not yet. Maybe it'll probably be next few months. So
okay. Yeah. Great.
So we'll be back, and thank you for accepting this mission.
Thanks again for listening, everyone. And before we go, another mission, should you choose to accept it. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And remember that you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LightTheFuse-Pod, and email us questions or comments at lightthefusepodcasts@gmail.com. If you'd like to watch the original Mission Impossible television show, all 7 seasons are currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.